Sprint 11: How to motivate others to help you. Building powerful relationships with the people on your team is essential to work effectively. But you need a different skill set to get strangers or groups of people whom you do not have the time to know personally to help you achieve your vision. This sprint focuses on understanding the skill sets involved with motivating others to dedicating themselves to helping you successfully achieve your vision. It involves knowing how you ask people to help you and how you design work to make people feel autonomous, masterful, and purposeful. This skill set is important for entrepreneurs aspiring to build enterprises with more than 8 to 10 full-time employees, volunteers, part-time employees, or contractors. It also applies to anyone where time and distance makes it impossible to get to know them well enough to create powerful one-to-one relationships. In the following article, we explain how everyone shares 3 intrinsic motivations that you can use to fuel their desire to help you. We then help you understand how to make employees and contractors feel autonomous and masterful in the work they do for you, as well as feel their work is for a good purpose. How to motivate others to help you. Written and read by Derek Liedau.
Understanding the basics of motivations will help you understand how to get other people to help you succeed. Motivations are what gets people to act and do something. Hunger motivates you to find food. Offering food is a classic way to motivate somebody to sit down and be friendly for a while. Of course, once they're finished, another motivation will take over and determine how they act. They will likely leave unless you deliver a new motivation for them to stay. You need people to act in ways to help you for more than just one meal. Getting people motivated to help you over long periods of time is tricky. There's a ton of research on how you motivate people, but the classic way in business is to pay somebody. This is known as extrinsic motivation because the motivation comes from someone else offering you some enticement to do something. The enticement could even include forcing you or manipulating you to act in a way that could hurt you. Over time, extrinsic motivations make people feel confined and grumpy about what they're doing, and this includes working to get paid. The best method for getting people to be happy to help you for long periods of time is to offer 3 things that simulate feelings that we would associate with a model childhood. We call these intrinsic motivations, and all people in all cultures share 3 strong desires. 1, to feel independent. 2, to feel competent in making the world change in the way we want. And 3, to feel part of a loving family or group. To get people to want to change their lives to work with you and support your vision, you want to structure work so every person feels personally autonomous, masterful, and purposeful. These feelings of autonomy, mastery of some activity, and purpose closely align to the basic intrinsic motivations all people are born to want. This is well described in an easy-to-read book by Daniel Pink called Drive. The trick is how to build some combination of these 3 qualities into a structured job that you want people to perform to help you achieve your vision. How you build these principles into work will be different for every type of business and product team and every job function within every company. And it will require trade-offs between creativity and process design. Designing work to make employees feel more autonomous and masterful. Feeling that your decisions directly impact how you perform your work is intrinsically motivating to everyone. Unfortunately, as enterprises grow, they get more complex, and each employee and contractor's job becomes more interdependent and constrained by the work of others. For some jobs and some businesses, such as assembly line work, almost every movement is prescribed. With layers of management making sure nothing happens that isn't prescribed, people complain. We become totally bureaucratic. People become unhappy in their work. You want to be smart in how you design the work needed to deliver your product or service. Productivity derives from how effective every work-related action is at creating value for the customer. The work output of one group is often the work input of another, and how integrated and synchronized workflow is between groups directly impacts productivity and quality. How a founder leads him, her, themselves, and others in designing work that is both productive and autonomous directly impacts the motivation of the team and the culture of the enterprise that they build. People feel autonomous when they can make decisions for themselves about how to live their lives and do their work. Even relieving just one or a few constraints in how they do their job will make them feel more autonomous if you let them know it. And you likely have the power to relieve constraints in some combination of the following dimensions: flexibility of work hours, flexibility of work location, flexibility of which work is assigned, flexibility in who you're assigned to work with, flexibility in asking for and receiving help, flexibility in how the work is performed to achieve quality and quantity standards, and understanding how the quality and productivity of the work you perform relate to someone's ability to make more money and get promoted. Letting employees know that you have designed their work to have these added flexibilities has the additional benefit of increasing their understanding of how their work creates value for the enterprise. In not so ancient times, many manufacturing businesses, like pottery making, were loose associations of people that would show up when they wanted, evaluated what work was available in which area, and then decided if they wanted to sign in to work and get paid that day. Today, because products and work are much more complex, the ancient level of flexibility for anyone other than the founder would create chaos. Mastery and autonomy are related. Employees skilled in tasks that create value in the organization are valuable in providing ideas that improve the methods used to organize and perform their tasks. It is good practice to let workers with similar tasks have the opportunity to discuss and experiment with ways to make their work more productive. It is also good practice for members of teams who work products interact with one another to meet to discuss and experiment how to improve how their work product is transferred between them. If you contract out work or service support, you want to know that your contractor lets their workforce have some autonomy to organize their work and master their craft. If not, they will suffer high turnover and lapses in quality. Time to practice and get coached. In general, people master skills by practicing it, preferably as directed by experienced and empathetic coaches. If you want your team to get better at their tasks, then you want to provide them the resources to practice and get coaching on being better at their jobs and at designing their own workflows. You also want to let your ambitious team members know how being good at their jobs can enable them to get advanced. Otherwise, you'll lose your ambitious employees. A note about being too busy as an excuse. Unless you and your team are in crisis, you cannot use "we're too busy to help you improve" as an excuse. Improvement needs to be part of how work is designed and not as something that is done in our spare time. Instilling a sense of purpose for everyone involved. Everyone wants to feel proud about what they do. Even if they feel unsuccessful in getting the job they dreamed of, everyone intrinsically prefers working for someone or a company they feel proud to be associated with. In making your teammates, employees, and contractors proud of being associated with your enterprise, you motivate them to do whatever they can to help you succeed. That becomes a purpose for what they do, and they are making something that they are proud of being more successful, making them proud. Entrepreneurs have an advantage over professionally managed larger businesses in instilling purpose with their stakeholders because entrepreneurial businesses succeed based upon the fundamental principle of entrepreneurship that we discussed in Sprint 2. Entrepreneurs succeed by making others so happy that they gladly give them money in return. By emphasizing to your stakeholders how you're making many people happy, you are instilling a sense of purpose for them to help you. Emphasizing that your purpose is to become richer or to make your company profitable or increase its profitability does not make many people, other than bankers, proud to be associated with you. If your profitability comes from making lots of people happy for more than 1 second, nobody will hold that against you, provided they feel you have acted ethically. For example, very few people will feel proud about working for someone that makes senior citizens feel momentarily happy because they were tricked into thinking they won the lottery. You can pay employees large amounts of money to help you, but they will not be motivated to help you get better at behaving unethically. Sincerity counts. It's one thing to say you are dedicated to making other people happy. It's another to show it and show it constantly. You can do that best by behaving as following. First, phrasing how you ask others about what they're doing and about the results of what they're doing in terms of how they're making customers happy. Second, giving recognition and reward to employees and contractors for making customers happy. And third, publicly demonstrating and explaining how you are making it easier and easier for everyone to make more and more customers happier and happier. These actions help create and perpetuate a culture where employees feel responsible for and proud of their work in making the world a happier place.
Sprint exercise. Now that you've read or listened to our article, How to Motivate Others to Help You, you understand how everyone shares 3 intrinsic motivations that you can use to fuel their desire to help you. You also understand how to make employees and contractors feel autonomous and masterful in the work they do for you, as well as make them feel their work is for a good purpose. Now, for you to practice and reflect more on these skills, we suggest you reflect on your own experiences. Is there a job or chore you've done that made you feel autonomous? And why was that? What job or chore made you feel like you were an expert at? And why was that? Have you felt connected to any job or chore you've been responsible for doing? How so? And why did you feel like that? How will you describe your product or service to strangers, including potential employees, to make its purpose sound and feel relevant and exciting? Who have you asked for new and additional ideas on how to make your product or service better for users and easier to deliver? And as a way to get these ideas further embedded in your thinking, turn this around and think how to make your customer motivated to use your product or service. So ask yourself, how can your product or service make your users feel more autonomous, masterful, and purposeful?